I'm shooting past it though.
Oh, that's sad. But impressive. Maybe they worked at the phone company.
Southwest.
Kill. I'm going to be sick. Double kill. Murder spree. I'm going to be sick. Double kill. I'm going to be sick. Double kill.
Oh, that's sad.
I'm going to be sick.
Whose thunder is that down there?
I'm going to be sick.
Sea Point? Probably. Looks like.
Like two people down there. Oh, you're not down on the ground. Okay.
Oh,
They have a router at sea.
but impressive. Maybe
They
they
do?
worked
Oh,
at the phone
They do.
Ha, 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 ha. Good one.
Triple homicide.
Procrastinator.
Unstoppable.
Hello, fellow Auraxians. The second most common question I get is, when is the Advanced Training Heavy Assault Guide coming out? And the answer to that is soon, TM. But the most common question I get is, how do you get the red dot on your screen? How do you get the kill messages to pop up on your screen? And how do you get the messages from GLaDOS from Portal? And all of those things come from Recursion Stat Tracker. So today we're doing a tutorial on how to get, install, and set up your Recursion Stat Tracker. But I want to cover two things before we dive in. First, I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to the creators of this tool. The Recursion Stat Tracker is the most badass third-party tool I have ever used for gaming. Fully customizable, feature-rich, and totally free. It even comes with an associated website where you can save your sessions, and they've created a whole bunch of achievements within this third-party tool that you can work towards in your sessions beyond just what Planetside offers. So again, to everyone that helped create this tool, I think I speak for all the community when I say thank you. And the second thing I want to cover is, are Crosshair Overlays cheating? And the answer is, no, you dummy. I've gotten a few comments on YouTube, I've seen it on Reddit, where people somehow think that having a crosshair overlay is cheating. There is nothing cheating about putting a dot in the middle of your screen. Using a crosshair overlay goes way back. For me, it started when you were playing Scouts and Knives maps in Counter-Strike. These maps generally had low gravity, and you had to be able to land and no-scope people across the map. And in order to do that, you needed a crosshair overlay. So what you would do is scope in so you could find the center of your screen, smoothly lay down a piece of clear tape, and then very carefully mark a dot on the center of your screen in the color of your choosing. In this manner, you always knew exactly where the center of your screen was. And to be honest, you PlayStation 4 players, this may still be a good option for you. Now in the modern age, we don't need to be so barbaric. There are all sorts of ways to get a crosshair overlay. You can even buy gaming monitors now that have an option for a crosshair overlay. And most developers have caught on to the fact that if people want a crosshair overlay, they're going to have one. So now they're generally just offered through the options menu. PUBG and Overwatch, for example, allow you to customize your crosshair so you always have a dot in the center of your screen. Now, beyond the basic, just common sense factor of it being allowed, it's been explicitly stated by Daybreak Games on multiple occasions that crosshair overlays are allowed. And while I wouldn't go so far as saying that they are required if you want to go out there and get good, I would say they are a great convenience and quality of life improvement to playing any first-person shooter. And I don't use it just for gunplay, it's very convenient outside of that. When I'm driving along in third person and I have an unaware gunner, you can use your crosshair overlay to spot targets and prompt them to start shooting.
Visual on hostile vehicle.
It's also good to maintain awareness while you're out mining cordium. Knowing where the center of the screen is so you can mine in third-person mode is very handy. And after you've had it installed for a while, you'll notice a multitude of other conveniences that come along with a crosshair overlay. So let's start with going over how you install Recursion Stat Tracker, and then we'll go over how you add voice packs and add a crosshair overlay. So in Google, you are searching for Recursion Stat Tracker, and their website should be your first option. Once there, you're looking for the option to Get Client. It should only take you a few seconds to download the installer. Once it's downloaded, go ahead and run that file. Follow the prompts on the screen and get it installed to the directory of your choosing. Okay, at this point you should have Recursion Stat Tracker installed. Hopefully you've got a shortcut somewhere. When you open it up, it should look something like this. The first thing you're going to want to do is hit the Manage button. And you're going to want to add all your characters. So if you play across multiple factions or play across multiple servers, go ahead and get their names entered and hit the Add button. That'll add that character to the list. Once it's on, make sure you hit that Auto Track button. That means once you launch Planetside and you log into an Auto Track character, Recursion Stat Tracker will automatically start a session for that character. This even works for PlayStation users. If you have a laptop nearby, you can run Recursion Stat Tracker during your PlayStation sessions. And if you play on both console and PC, you can have characters from both servers tracked in your Recursion Stat Tracker. Once that's done, you're ready to go. The Recursion Stat Tracker comes with its own kill feed pop-ups and has built-in voice feedback voiced by Radlock. Without doing any customization, it's still a really cool tool and ready to go. Let's take a second to open up the Options tab, just to familiarize yourself with some other features there. You can set Recursion Stat Tracker to launch when Windows starts. If your PC is dedicated to gaming and you primary Planetside, that's a handy feature. Quick side note though, last time I checked, Recursion Stat Tracker locks up PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So if you're going to go play other games, I recommend exiting out of the tracker. You can also select to have it start hidden. If you use a single screen and you want to have Recursion running so you get the pop-ups in game, but you just want to leave it in your taskbar otherwise, that's a good option to select. You can also do things like adjust the tick rate if you want to reduce the load on your computer. That being said, this program runs really light. I haven't done extensive tests, but I don't find that it adversely affects your performance. In my case, I like all the additional details that the desktop display from the Stat Tracker provides, so I choose to keep the in-game overlay toggled off and keep the desktop version of the Stat Tracker up on a second screen. You will have to figure out what works best for you. We're going to come back to the Audio tab in a minute. In the Display tab, you can tweak where things will show up in your game, where the kill streak counter goes, where the overlay goes, where the achievement pop-ups show up. I don't touch this tab at all, but if you don't like where they are, you have options to customize it. And in the Key Map tab, you can change your default key bindings. I find the defaults work really well and don't conflict with anything in-game. Okay, next we're going to work on getting your Crosshair Overlay set up. Go to the Mods menu and select the Mod Manager from the drop-down list. The window you see here will pop up. In my case, I already have it installed, but you'll want to go to the Show Available tab and install the Crosshair Overlay. Get that mod installed and make sure you have it enabled. In order to customize your Crosshair, select the Crosshair component underneath the mod and then click Configure. From there, you'll be able to open the folder where the default Crosshair options are stored and select the one you'd like. But if you want, you have the option to make your own Crosshair, or you can check out the ones that have been made by the creator. What you're going to want to do is visit the forum thread for the Crosshair Overlay. Now, as you saw before, you can actually click the link right from Recursion Stat Tracker, or if you do a quick Google search, it'll be the first thing that shows up. Any further questions you may have will be answered in that forum post. Okay, final thing, let's talk about voice packs. Under the Audio tab and Options, you can enable or disable the sounds. You can also make changes to what sounds are played. You can have it play taunts when you're failing. Or if you really like sounds, you can have a sound on every single kill. I like to keep sounds to when I do something kind of cool, so I keep those disabled. Now I'm going to have a download link in the description to the Portal voice pack that I use. When you download it, it will be a simple zip file like this one, and there'll be a file and a folder within. The folder contains all the voice files, and the other file is what you actually load into the Recursion Stat Tracker. You need to make sure it's placed correctly in the Recursion Stat Tracker directory. Both the folder and the file must be the top level in the directory, as shown here. You can install as many different voice packs as you want at one time. You can browse the Recursion forums for some additional ones. Just go ahead and hit the load button and load the pack that you would like to use at that time. There's something about sci-fi, battles among the stars, and snarky artificial intelligence companions. Be it Star Wars, Star Trek, StarCraft, Halo, or Jarvis, they seem to really complement the high-tech future. In my case, I use the GLaDOS voice pack because it falls in along those lines and has an immersive element that I really enjoy. That being said, there are plenty of meme-oriented voice packs. If you like something that's a little sillier or all MLG Pro, just browse those forums and you'll find something that's right for you. If you guys have any trouble getting it set up, please don't hesitate to ask questions down in the comments. That being said, it's not always that easy to help people figure it out over the internet. Spend a little bit of time tinkering, read in the Recursion forums, and I promise you'll be able to figure out how to get it working. All the links you need to complete the install of everything I use will be listed down in the description. Make sure you save this tutorial to a playlist or get a bookmark so that anytime you see someone wondering how to get a Crosshair overlay or how to get those voice packs, you can pass along this handy reference guide to them. Okay, fellow Auraxians, that's all for now. And until next time, I will see you Planetside.